Okay, I am going to show you all how I take notes in my Bible and when I'm studying the Bible. And there's 3 different ways that I typically bounce around between when it comes to taking notes in my Bible. So I'm going to start with kind of just the most basic way that I mark up my Bible. It's usually the one that I use when I'm in a time crunch or I'm trying to get through a lot of chapters all at once. So I'm going to just read Exodus 32 and kind of talk you guys through how I take my notes when I'm going through just a normal Bible reading plan, not when I'm actually like really trying to dig in and study the text. And the people saw that Moses, so usually people I underline, delayed to come down from the mountain. The people gathered themselves together to Aaron. There's another person that I'm going to underline. And he said to him, "Up, make us gods who shall go before us. And as for this, Moses, the man who brought us out of Egypt, we do not know what has come of him." So Moses again, and then places I tend to circle. We do not know what has become of him. So Aaron said to them, "Take off your rings of gold that are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." So all the people took off the rings of gold that were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. And he received the gold from their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool and made a golden calf. And they said, "These are your gods, O Israel." So Israel is like, it's a nation, like a place and people. It's pretty significant. So I think I'm just going to circle it actually, so it kind of stands out more. "Who brought you out of the land of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar for it. And Aaron made a proclamation and said, "Tomorrow shall be a feast to the Lord." And I always put a box around names of God. And they rose up early the next day and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. And the Lord said to Moses, "Go down, for your people who you brought up out of the land of Egypt," Egypt is circle, "have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way that I commanded them. They have made for themselves a golden calf and have worshipped it and sacrificed to it and said, 'These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt.' And the Lord said to Moses, 'I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may burn hot against them, and I may consume them, in order that I may make a great nation of you.' And the Lord relented from his disaster that he had spoken of bringing on his people." And this is kind of a pretty significant thing. Like, the Lord was merciful and didn't go and destroy the people for their idol, even though it would have been very justified because he had just brought them out of Egypt. Then Moses turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets. "Gold, take it off." So they gave it to me, and I threw it in the fire, and out came this calf. This always makes me laugh. Like, Aaron's like, "Oh, I didn't do anything. I just threw the gold in the fire, and there's a golden calf now." So silly. But I think I need somebody to love me, to love me, to love me the way only you. "Whoever has sinned against me, I will blot out of my book. But now go, lead the people to the place about which I have spoken to you. Behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day when I visit, I will visit their sin upon them." Then the Lord sent a plague on the people because they had made the calf, the one that Aaron made. Okay, and that's it. That's my really simple process for note-taking in my Bible. This makes me slow down a little bit. It makes me take note of different characters, of important things that were said, or it makes me continue to focus on the text rather than just like breezing past it and then completely forgetting what I just read. So this is a very simplistic, basic way of note-taking and journaling in your Bible. I do this probably the most often, but we're going to move on and go up into the different levels, I guess you could say, of journaling in your Bible, and kind of dig in more to the different options that you have and the things that work for you in your specific season of life. Okay, now the next way that you can journal or take notes in your Bible is through color coding. And so you can use highlighters to create your own system for different categories. So I have names of God are yellow, representatives of Christ or Christ are this red color. Commands are purple. Heaven and angels are this light blue. Love is pink. Covenant promises are green. Time, places, or numbers are a darker blue. And then the sin is like an orangish reddish. And so I'm going to take you guys through this again. You can still use like how we marked up before with boxing things in, underlining things, whatever works best for you. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do the color coding and help you guys understand how you can just go through and mark these things really quickly or as you're studying, just to kind of help each of these different categories stand out to you when you're studying the text. So this is my reference sheet, and I'm going to do this with Exodus 33. So I'm just going to continue on reading my Bible. So I'm going to start with the names of God. I'm going to actually open up all of my highlighters so that they're easier to grab and just like look up in my Bible. Let's get started. Okay, the Lord said to Moses, Go up from here, you and the people from whom I brought out of the land of Egypt, to the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm going to just underline them. Isaac and Jacob, saying, to your offspring I will give it. I will send an angel. Okay, that is a covenant promise. So I'm going to do green, saying, to your offspring I will give it. I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out that's light blue. I'll send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites. I'm gonna underline those. Drive out the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites. Go up to a land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go up among you, lest I consume you on the way, for you are stiff-necked people. When the people heard this disastrous word, they mourned, and no one put on his ornaments. Saying, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and will proclaim before you my name, the Lord, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. But he said, you cannot see my face, for man shall not see my face and live. And the Lord said, behold, there is a place. So this is the whole command back here. So this is Moses is about to see part of God, and God is promising that to him. So that is just one chapter, but if you wanted to color up your Bible a little bit more, I know we didn't use everything, and that's going to be the case a lot of times. Like, you're not going to use all of your colors, all of your highlights in one chapter. Like, it's just not realistic to think that you are, because there's not everything that you have in your reference sheet is not going to be marked up in one chapter every single time you read the Bible. So, but this helps things stand out to you. If you're very color oriented, I like using color a lot. But this helps it stand out to you in your mind as you're studying. And I really enjoy using the color a lot in my Bible. I think it really helps my brain like connect what is what. All right, now we're to the third method of journaling in your Bible. And so that is where we get a little bit more fancy if you have extra time. So I have a brush pen, and I'm going to just focus on this section of chapter 34 of Exodus, of the covenant being renewed. And I'm going to kind of turn this page into this little journaling page so that I can really focus in and hone in on this renewal of the covenant. It's going to continue on a little bit to the next page, but that's okay. I'm going to brush letter a title over here, and I'm going to say My brush lettering needs some work, so don't judge me. Okay, so renewal of the covenant is going to be my title for this page. I'm sure you can tell this is not my preferred method of journaling in my Bible, but I'm doing it for you guys. So now we're going to dig into this part of the text. I am going to read this part before just so I'm caught up on the context, but I'm not going to read that part aloud. We're just going to focus on the covenant renewed together. Okay, so now we're back to the covenant renewed. He said, "Behold, I am making a covenant. Before all your people, I will do marvels such as have not been created in all the earth of any nations, and all the people among whom you are will see the work of the Lord. It is an awesome thing that I will do with you." Okay, so the Lord's promise. I will do marvels that have never been seen before. Okay. Observe what I command you this day. Behold, I will drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Take care lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land. Okay, what else does the Lord promise? He will drive out the Amorites, Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Take care lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land to which you go, lest it become a snare in your midst. You shall tear down their altars and break their pillars and cut down their asherim. So this is something I don't know, so I'm going to put like maybe down here things to look up. What are asherim? For you shall worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. I'm assuming the asherim is an idol, maybe? Just with the context of what is said around it. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and when they whore after their gods and sacrifice to their gods, and you are invited, you eat of his sacrifice, and you take of their daughters for your sons, and their daughters whore after their gods, and make your sons whore after their gods. You shall not make yourself any gods of cast metal. Let's say another little category, Lord's commands. / instructions. Okay, do not make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land. It's understandable, it's irreplaceable love, and I will keep swimming till you show up, till you show up. the Lord said to Moses, "Write these words, for in accordance with these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel." So he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He neither ate bread nor drank water, and he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments. Okay, so this is we've gone through this before. We've read this covenant before. The first time that Moses went up onto the mountain. Yeah, so in Exodus 24, when it was talked about. So like 10 chapters later. I'm going to actually write another category. So feasts to keep to the Lord. I probably should have made this earlier, but that's fine. This is kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna just kind of color code these things a little bit based on my system. I'm gonna kind of just make sure that everything flows. So these are God's, the Lord's commands and instructions. Then we've got the promises. This is kind of just, I guess this would be like times, yeah, because these are feasts at different times of the year. And then I don't really have anything for like anything I'm questioning, so I'll just like put things to look up in this pink color that I want to look up later. And these are just kind of like little notes. So this is the third option of Bible journaling. I'm sure that there are people that are like hardcore Bible journalers that are just like cringing at my Bible journaling page, but I wanted to show you guys kind of a more realistic version and process of how this all works. Like, I'm not a seasoned Bible journaler in this format at all, so I want you to see that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to like all line up. Like, you can make mistakes like I did. Like, you can move things around if you need to. It can be whatever you want it to be. You can make it yours. But I wanted you to see that this is not something that should be intimidating to you. It should be fun. It should help you categorize and break down the text so that you can understand what is being said in the text. Because sometimes I think it's really easy to just read the text and completely forget about it within 5 seconds. But this, actually writing it out, color coding it, making it more visual, it helps you really take the text in and helps it really sink in to your brain and helps you really make a lot of sense of the text as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that these 3 Bible journaling methods help you in the future and make sense to you. I hope that you use one of them or all 3 of them from time to time, and that you really start to enjoy studying your Bible. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye.